11th. Wednesday Night with Those Guys and Wednesday Night with Those Guys are sponsored by Those Guys. Welcome, everyone. It is Wednesday Night with Those Guys, and as you know, Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys. This is the home where we talk about everything in the drone world and promote the use of drones. How's everyone out there doing? And I hope you've been able to get out and fly. We've had a little bit of bad weather here, but most of the time it's been all right. Able to get out and fly. I hope you guys have been able to enjoy your drones. What's going on, Lawrence? I see you busy.
Not a whole lot. In here chatting with John Olson.
Oh, okay.
He says his wife doesn't look at his stuff because he takes pictures of the town dump. And I just typed in the chat, drone pilots take pictures. That's what we do. Not everyone's gonna like what you take pictures of or shoot video of, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good. But it's Wednesday.
A lot of times non-interesting things are interesting to some people who don't see it at all.
Yeah, that's why art is so different. Someone would pay $1 million for a glove when I wouldn't do that.
Well, that's a little different.
Well, yeah. If you're looking for it on the investment tip, yeah.
That's a little different.
If I'm going to spend $1 million, I expect to make back at least 3 to 4.
No, the reason why I said it's a little different is like, okay, some guys take pictures of buildings, right? But okay, it's a building. I drive past the thing every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fascinating to someone who doesn't see these things all the time.
Right.
And from a different perspective than you could see it from normally.
Well, see, here's the perfect example. Where we live here in New York, and we don't take this for granted, but I've had a lot of FPV pilots and people tell me I didn't know New York had so many beaches. Because when I learned to fly FPV, I was flying up and down the beach, all in Rockaway and stuff, and people are like, wow. When they think of New York City, they always think of skyscrapers and bums and on the train,
Do they know where it is?
Hey, Barkley, what's good? I would assume so. Welcome back, SJM. Let's say what's up to everybody that's in the chat.
Don't they know there's nothing on the other side of
Listen, yeah, I know. Any further south? Yes, that's right, Barkley. Say hello to the lurkers too. We welcome lurkers here. 107 drones, Barkley. Chin Dynasty, SJM. Who else? John Olson is here. Blind Neil is here. Jody? Newfound Drone Productions. And if I've missed you, I'm really, really sorry. But that's as far as I see here. If you don't type after a certain time in the chat, you don't stay in that active list. But what's up, Barkley? I hope all is well. How you doing, Herman?
I'm good. I can't complain too much.
Click that like button, guys.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of things happening. I dread tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I do, because if I
didn't even check weather and everything like that.
You know what?
I'm losing it.
100% right, because isn't it supposed to do some more raining?
I don't know, but
hold on.
I know it's supposed to be good. They said it's going to hold up this
tomorrow evening. I just clicked on Thursday. So far, it's supposed to rain tomorrow evening.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, cloudy day. Great day for mapping. But Thursday night, it's supposed to rain. They're saying Thursday night. Tomorrow, the winds supposed to be 5 to 10 miles per hour. But see, that's my location here. Of course, the site is different. But yeah, we can't get out of that one. We got to show up tomorrow. Nice try.
I'm not worried about that one.
I know. But yeah, the weather would be nice enough to go tomorrow.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things happening out there, man. There's a lot of things going on, man. I'm looking at where'd you go? What'd you do?
I'm trying to just
At
get,
the little kids table.
yeah, his show the first graders chair I'm sitting in. You know, that was funny going to school with my daughter and
No,
going to meet with the teacher for kindergarten. And the teacher was like, have a seat. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm good. I'll stand, you know. And my
you
ex,
sit on
you
the
know,
table.
she's short, so she fits right in. She's just like a big kid anyway.
What did you sit on the table?
No, I just stood there over them, towering over them. Steven, what's good, man? Flyby guys.
Hey man, yeah, I'd have just sat in the. I'd have sat on the table.
Lawrence needs a booster seat.
You know
Yeah.
that's like I went over when I had to go to the school for the kids 2 years back, and I think it's a little weird that when you go to a school and people at the school look at you and they tell you, well, go use the bathroom that little boys use.
Right.
And I swear to God, I think I'm gonna pee on the floor. The urinal so low. At the elementary school.
You know, that bugs people out, right? You know, you go to a stadium or something, and sometimes the only stall that's open is a little boy's stall, right? So
they have that.
Stand there, these guys stand there waiting for the adult stall. So I walk over, and it must be an eyesight to see.
Oh, you talking about the urinal?
Yeah. And I'm not afraid to use a little boy urinal. Hell, it serves the same purpose as that one. If you want to wait 5 minutes for these guys to finish up over here and that's empty, well, man, please.
It's too low. A lot of guys after a few beers might pee on their foot.
What's good, man? We appreciate you, Steven, for always coming by. Steven, Herman got his passport. Now I got to work on mine. That's all I'm going to say.
Sharing information. I actually got my passport in your name, so that way when I
oh shit! Wow, you hear this? He got his passport in my name, so
that way I could become an international fugitive.
Wow, in my name.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the splashes, though. Brooklyn Jimmy, what's good, man? Hope all is well.
Everywhere.
I wanted to say again, thanks to everybody who came to that hearing, that actually comment hearing. That was believe it or not, the people that showed up.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody, I mean, in the media, from the drone community here in New York City,
mm-hmm.
You got background that are lurking that showed up and stuff like that. I appreciate you all and commend you. But don't think that it's the end, and don't think that it's gonna last. Now, as a hobbyist flying in New York, that shit is maybe dead. If you 107 and you're making money, or you already 107, I keep hope alive.
I told you that before. It's the same thing. It's no different than it was 6 years ago.
Because I'm not going to say nothing, but Herman's kind of good at predicting trends or coming up with things that are going to happen.
But I'll speak to you on that one another time. But one thing that I did, you know, we mentioned it last week, and I just didn't. It was like by the time we did the live stream it was the second day. What happened to you?
I'm still here. I'm just went black.
But by the time we did the live stream last week, it was the second day of Prime Day. And I hope everybody did get a chance to get something that they wanted on the Prime Day, you know. But the one thing that mentioned last week that stood out to me was what Draper was doing, where they have developed that software that can have a bunch of smaller drones detect
the sniffing, yes, the chemical warfare and stuff like that, radiation, chemical warfare,
chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. they could detect all of those hazards and let the mothership know what's going on before it gets there. That's something, right? Got a bunch of
Yeah. It'll save a lot of lives. People won't go in and say, it's like the miners did back in the day. They had the canary. If the canary passed out or they looked down, the canary was dead, they ran.
Yeah, now they can send a drone in there to see what's going on.
That's the canary now.
Yeah.
The canary has become electronic.
Peter wanted the canary to lose his job, so I guess
right. So someone built a machine to go and look at Ilios. Ilios drone flew inside the Chernobyl reactor. Remember? So the Ilios 1 or the Ilios 2 did it. One of them. Two. Nuke, bugs, and drugs.
Flying pizza.
Bugs and drugs.
What happened?
Barkley put in the chat, nukes, bugs, and drugs.
Yeah, it can detect all of that.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you know what I heard yesterday? You know, and I always tell you, listen to verbiage, because verbiage, you'll see the verbiage.
I like that word, verbiage.
Verbiage catches on. You understand what I'm saying to you? And when you got a guy spewing shit and it catches on, look out.
Hey, Johnny.
You know, I heard that the Biden administration, not to be political, but this is how it was said.
Right.
They're proposing cyber risk labels for electronics.
Okay.
Right? This is to let you know if your electronics that you're purchasing is safe, that it's not listening to you and reporting back to the mothership.
Hey, Corey. I hear you.
Now, which mothership are we talking about that's listening? Or is it the mothership over there? Or the mothership over here? Or the guy that came up with the label?
Yeah, I think all of the above. Your boy Chin Dynasty wants to know, what's the chance of him getting a wrench?
What's the chances of him getting a wrench?
Yes.
I mean, we don't have that many mechanics in the shop, but I think we could work something out.
What's up, Draymond? How are you?
Hey, who else? Draymond is here.
Yes, well, that's what Barkley, you got it. There goes my iPhone. Exactly. This is where Herman is going. Cyber risk electronics, because not only is your iPhone going to be gone, but a few of those TVs and Bluetooth headsets and all of that stuff gets put on this banned list. Fly Guy Merle, what's good? Gets put on this list of banned Asian electronics, because this seems to be the direction that the United States is heading. That means no more. Yeah, that means no more DJI drones. So hold on. Go ahead.
See, this is the thing. I really think that this might be a way of trying to get money.
A way? You mean like New York City was trying?
Yeah, money. It's just money.
It is. It's a money grab.
I think that's all it is, because let's be for real. This is already happening. They already vet these electronics. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So I don't understand now why we need a label to let you, like, remember we were talking last week about the restaurants and the cleanliness of the restaurants and
the rating systems.
And the rating system. It has nothing to do with their food. It's just and if there's for the rules and regulatories, and we'll talk a little bit more about rules and regulatories tonight. Mm-hmm. And of them meeting the guidelines of the rules and regulatories for restaurants. Right. That's how they get that rating. And now you're talking about a label to let the people know. You know what this is? This is the same shit, just like, why do you see on television commercials for medication? You go to a doctor, right? No, you go to a doctor, right? You go to a doctor, right?
Yeah.
That has gone to school, who learns how to diagnose symptoms, put it together, and come up with a diagnosis of what you may have or what is your problem. Yeah. And then he now knows what medications are out there that he can prescribe for you that can treat those symptoms.
I think the sticker was to be like the surgeon.
So why are they showing you commercials?
You see what Brooklyn Jimmy put? He says he thinks that labeling and that sticker is going to be like the warning in the Surgeon General, just so, for cigarettes. That we will have one.
Sounds
for
good. Sounds good.
We'll have one for electronics.
That sounds good. But watch what I'm saying.
May be stolen.
What he's saying sounds good. But watch what I'm saying to you.
Mark.
So now, right, with that, right? So now that you have this labeling that we're talking about, right? Where'd you disappear to now, Mark?
I'm here. I went black.
Oh Lord, you gonna do that often tonight?
Maybe not.
That's not gonna be good.
Maybe not. I'm here. What's up, Mark Fisher? Do you see what Draymond puts? Creating product fear, influencing the product.
Thank you, Draymond. Thank you, Draymond.
Like energy efficient labels.
Thank you, Draymond. It's like if now I want to quash something, I can legally do it without anybody saying anything, because now they've been vetted to the point. And I'm telling you this because I have a system that is designed to monitor.
It's the new way of blackballing a product.
Without saying that without telling the people that I'm bullshitting them.
Hey, Leonard. Yes.
I understand what he was saying about the Surgeon General thing, but the whole Surgeon General thing came about way after they had people smoking cigarettes for many years.
And dying from them for many years.
Well, they didn't know that. They didn't know that.
Yeah, at that time, true.
But the Surgeon General and them, they took a check from Philip Morris and all of them too. So they couldn't come out and tell you not to smoke them things. They just tell you, yeah, watch yourself. Watch yourself. And the same guy that had been making money off of you for years had paid for the commercials to tell you to watch yourself.
Well, unfortunately, we've come to a world where somebody's trying to get in your pocket, some way, shape, or form.
All the time. No, but I don't like that thing about the electronics thing, because you already do that. That's why they go through the whole FCC and all those things. But why?
Yep.
And she was, what was the thing? The chairman for the FCC. She was right there along with it.
Of course, she was making money off the deal.
Yeah, because they want to fear more people and rob more people on the back end.
Mm-hmm. I'm not mad at you, but you keep digging in my pockets, you can touch my socks.
Hey, watch out there.
Hey, I don't mean it that way, but
you passed a lot of shit to get to the socks, bro.
They'll
pat you down. No, but is there gonna be an action for? Because I'm seeing some things I'm not sure about. No, seriously, is there?
You know what? From what I understand, yes, there is. For the simple price of $399 US.
I believe that that's happening right now.
According to the Twitter gods, I'm going to start calling them the Twitter gods. According to them, this was released.
Yeah, I secretly.
Huh?
I saw something else too.
Yes, you did. You did see something else, and it was a picture of the actual camera.
Really?
Right now, why
is that not an action? Okay.
This is what it's going to look like with an ND filter. From what I'm seeing here, the thickness is going to be a little thinner. With the direction where they're going with action cameras are naked, action cameras. Right now, people are stripping down GoPros and stripping down these action cams and putting the frame inside, I mean the innards inside a TPU print. So
Okay.
that would explain this thin factor. As far as
You
the
ain't taking
specs
it
and
apart.
stuff, huh?
You ain't taking it apart.
No, you're not taking this apart, but you can take the screen off and have the bare naked camera. They do it with GoPros all the time.
What was your
But
warranty?
as far as the actual action cam itself,
Mhm.
let's see. I don't know.
The other one just came out.
Yes, it did, and people are still using. I have a bad reception here, but Mark's funny. But the deal with this action cam is
Mark, what's
if
going
we
on,
build
Mark?
action cam built into a contact lens. Eventually, Warren.
Yeah.
Eventually, Google Glass tried it. If you remember,
And then all you gotta do is hang your head out the window
yeah,
while you're driving the car.
yeah, right. But eventually, we've seen movies with the contact lens, and they're looking at shit on the computer and all of that. Or you Mission Impossible, you put the glasses on. You remember Google tried it? They had, what was the name of that glass that had the little lens in the corner?
Retard.
That was the closest to technology.
You know what? They had also the Epson goggles and stuff like that that worked very similar, but a lot of those things never take off. They never go anywhere.
They're gimmicks.
Right. Because the same glasses you were talking about, the Googles, the glasses.
Look, hey,
that didn't go nowhere.
Yellow Rose says, hang your head out the window like a dog. I like that. For some reason, they don't like you to blow your nose. Go figure.
If you got an action cam on your contact lens, it kind of serves no purpose if you're that guy that just sits in the car and you're the guy that just closes his eyes on the rough parts of the roller coaster.
Oh, yeah, right.
You got to keep your eyes open.
That's true. That's true.
You got to witness it straight to you go smack, not the camera.
Did you see that on, I forget, it was, I might have saw it on TikTok, or we'll get back to the subject real quick, on TikTok or Twitter. The guy found out what the best 3-axis gimbal is in the world. He took an action camera.
Put it on his dog?
But no. He took an action camera with virtually no with very little stabilization and attached it to a chicken's head. And he was moving the chicken like that. I have to find a video during the stream. Doing all this stuff. He shot videos with it, holding the chicken.
I've seen that already with a chicken.
You've seen it. You know which one I'm talking about then.
No, but I've seen that with a chicken. The chicken.
That's a gimmick.
Weird thing with a chicken. I don't understand why they do it, but they do it.
But see, look what Steve put. DJI, without a doubt, are the best, but we can't afford to buy a new drone or camera every 6 months, or at least I can't. You're very right.
You don't really have to.
You don't have to. But what it is, I'll get to you, Roger. What it is DJI knows this new drone pilot, a new media creator created every day. And they've covered all the markets from all the dollars from $400 up to $18,000. So there's a mark for everything.
You're right, but you're absolutely right, Lawrence. The only thing is that how long does it take before you make my product obsolete, though?
What happened?
How long does it take before you take my product out of my hand that still is in good condition?
This is true.
That's the only thing that I say with DJI. You know?
Hey, Roger Hunter, I'm looking
products that are in good condition, still works very fine, very well, right. and now you've taken them out of my hand because those products that it works or works on, or that product that we're using, you don't support it anymore.
True, but in answer to STM drones, and then I'll respond to what Roger put it in the chat too. STM drones is not designed for you to buy a drone every 6 months. People who buy a drone every 6 months either can afford to do it or trying to keep up with the Joneses. I know people who buy. I now keep in mind. I know people who buy every new drone, okay, that comes out, and then they do a video on it, and they get reviews, and they do reviews on it. Then they take it back. Okay, so there's a lot going on with that. But in respect to what Roger Hunter says,
I
much
would
ado
I
about
would shut the
nothing.
door when I see you coming to my store.
Mabel Shemabel, it's all politics, and all we can do is make sure to vote because it's the only whisper of a voice you have, and you will never decouple these economies.
What happened?
That's why we don't get too much into politics.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But yeah, right, I do agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just say that you know, I'm not one to say I don't speak politics because
You see
everything
what
that we
Warren
do is
products
politics.
come off the drawing board with planned obsolescence already built in.
What?
So that's true. They build it knowing they tested the Phantom 4 Pro when they started working with sensors, motion sensors. What bird do you remember first throughout history? And you've been flying 7.5 years, 6.5, whatever, Herman. The Phantom 4 Pro, remember? Phantom 4 Pro was the first bird that had almost 360 obstacle avoidance. It just
what are you talking about? It did. All the way around it.
That's yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, because the side sensors, but all of that stuff was tested on us. All of this stuff that we're doing now.
Well, yes, and
Sync 4.
There's a whole lot of things. There's a whole lot of things going on with that. There's a whole when you talk about things that they've tested on us.
Mm-hmm.
This goes back to conversation that took place 4 years ago on the live stream.
Right.
And we were talking about airspace and what can and cannot be done up there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, shoot, you check the numbers and see what happens. You see the fatalities, you check the numbers. And we were like, well, damn, some of the things that they're talking of, can it not be done? It's done every day. It's just frowned upon.
Mm-hmm.
Proves that it can be done.
True.
You understand? Now, when and listen, I'm not no punk to sit up here like some of the things that we've done, and we talk about some of the drones that we fly today, right? Can go quite distance.
Further than we
don't fly these drones like that.
Right. Because
but the drones that we had in the past that could fly that distance that we shouldn't have flown, and we've done it.
Yeah.
Proves that it can be done.
True.
You understand what I'm saying to now?
Very, very true.
Now there's risk in any and everything. You know what I'm saying to you? There's risk in any and everything. But it proves that it can be done. Listen, during the war, they had men being transported by ships across sea.
Mm-hmm.
Those are big risks, but men got there.
True.
It proved that it can be done.
Even with submarines hunting them and sinking them. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying to you? So, I don't know. I mean, hey, listen. Everything's a test, and they learn from it. If you're not learning from it, there was no reason to have it out there.
This is true.
I told you the first time I saw a Phantom take off and go up, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And the dude was standing right there, and I was like, "Yo, what is that?" He had his phone on the controller. Yeah. I was like,
in amazement, right?
Wow. And he was looking down on Flatbush Avenue. And I was like, you know what?
Oh, you walked up to him and was like, yo, look, you were looking?
Yeah, I was like,
You got
that's
a close up look.
yeah. I was like, that's just hot. I was like, yeah, how much is that? And he told me. I was like, thank you. I'm gonna go inside here and buy this car.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
went inside and spent like almost $500 on a car. And I was like, you know what?
That was your first drone car.
No, that was a car.
Oh.
You know how much a drone cost back then?
What, about 3,000?
No, it wasn't that much. But come on, be honest. You're talking about this was more than this is more than the Phantom was out more than 4 years before I bought one. So you're talking about back then, like when somebody tells you, $1,500-$1,600, you're like, what? Nah, I'm good. I'll find something else to do. No, seriously. I find something else to do. But you know what, Lawrence?
Yeah.
Oh boy. The Air 3. Oh, the Air 3.
Yes, man.
The Air.
Yes,
honestly, at one point, don't laugh at me when I say this, but we did the stream last week, right? And we talked about the Air 3, and I've seen some more stuff about the Air 3, and I was like, that shit ain't come out yet. I thought it was. I thought it was out already. No, but this is so much. It's been so much from Igor about the Air 3, and it's just funny. He just keeps putting out all these pictures and pushing pictures to the point.
Yeah, he had a good week, right?
Yeah, he was on a pushing out a bunch of pictures. He did that little video with the whole little thing there, pushing them, pushing.
Listen,
To the point now we've seen leaks from him talking about now to the point of specs. We've seen specs, we've seen photos of the drone, we've seen everything on the drone. But the one thing that we did see, I remember what was with the remotes, and they showed all the remotes and the whole the FCC stuff, and because both of the remote and the what was it? I had that written down somewhere in my notes. Yeah.
Here. This was slow.
The remote and the controller.
To convert it.
Yeah.
To convert this, but I want to hold on. I wanted to show something really quick before we went on with this. I have a little video clip. This was taken around July 4th of last year, and once again, I would like to say kudos to you because you said this when you had first got this radio, and
I was really shocked when they came out with this controller. So I didn't think it would work this well. But I do expect that when you see the next generation of this controller, I really believe that the next generation of this controller is going to have outboard antennas.
And I'll stop it right there, because when you said that, I immediately agreed with you, knowing the situation that you had. And then going back to today, modern day time, here you go, bam. Well,
you've used the controller yourself, right?
Huh?
You've used the controller yourself, and you see what happens.
I have
get to certain areas, and then it'll tell you that there's interference.
You remember we went to Coney Island, and I wanted to shoot the hyperlapse of the trains? And I went down to my starting point with this RC controller. Hold on. The regular RC controller. And I got down there, no problem. But the radio signal was being interfered. And remember, you was like, you want to use my RC Pro? Yes, that one right there. Exactly. And I was maybe a block and no, I'd say about 2 blocks away, still at visual line of sight and everything, because Herman was spotting for me. And because we were at Coney Island and there's mad electromagnetic field on this side from the subway,
That wasn't.
Coney Island. I'm trying to make excuses for the radio, right? Coney Island and all of
No,
that.
that does have a lot to do with it.
Yeah, the Coney Island and the roller coaster was between me and where I wanted to go to get that shot. You remember? And as soon as I hooked up your RC Pro, I could have spun around circles and jumped on one leg, and it went down, not one bar. But once again, I repeat, here we are again. Now they've taken the radio and put antennas on it.
Well,
And I think it was the best thing
going
you
into this.
Huh?
Well, we know that now going into this, that's what they did, but it was necessary. I think that they got enough complaints about it. I saw it from day one from using the radio, and I knew that was going to be the case because that's the same thing they did with the Phantom 3 Standard. They had one antenna outside was for
I remember
the direction or whatever, and the other one, 2 patch antennas inside for receiving and sending.
Yeah.
And that didn't do too well with it. You didn't get very far with the Phantom 3 Standard.
Right.
You know,
they wind up changing that whole system.
Yeah, and I think that's a better, the antenna system that they're going with now is much
Believe
better.
it or not, despite what you think, DJI watches those forums.
Oh, I'm quite sure of that. And I'm quite sure they do. And they listen to the complaints that they get with people calling and calling and calling.
Rizzo, what's up? Place it here. I'm sorry. I just came back to the page. I didn't see.
But what do we do know? We know about this drone, right?
Oh.
Huh?
Wedge Big asks a question real quick. Any update on the New York issue, or did I miss that segment? Actually, I tell you what the update is. It's pretty much, it was, Herman and I had the inside word that it was already preordained. This is what the New York City Department, the New York City Police Department was going to do, Paul. And what's going down is they have it made up. They're gonna change the rules and say, in order to take off with a drone in New York City, the metropolitan area, in any borough, you can't no longer stop on a corner as a 107 pilot or as a recreationalist and take a picture of a building or whatever you want to do. It's preordained. They have gone through with it now. What we need to do as New Yorkers and New York drone pilots and other people, and you guys that live outside of New York up in Rhode Island, you guys need to start talking to your congressmen and assemblymen and stuff like that, your congressmen, because it's on a federal level, about getting the FAA to prevent this from happening. This is why Ryan LaTourette was trying his best to get New York State to become a preemptive law state. But
New York is preemptive law, but for some God unknown reason,
New York City Police Department is decided to charge.
I'm saying to you, I don't know how far this has gone as far as whether or not the governor has said anything about it. I don't know what's being said. Like I said, even not only in Albany, forget about Washington, but Albany first. I don't know what's going on there first before they can even say something like this. You know, it doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous. You're just trying to snatch money from people who are trying to operate legitimate businesses.
Yeah, Roger, it's true. It's to generate business, but as far as that, it's done now. What I was getting at is us as New Yorkers, we get back to this with what we were talking about, but us as New Yorkers with the Air 3, we need to get together and contact our congressman, already our governor. Kathy Hochul is for drones, but I'm starting to see now she's leaning more towards commercial drones, because I'm sure she heard.
See, there's a lot of money involved in that, and this is taking the show in another direction. But there's a lot of money involved in the movement for that, and this is why when guys were saying it's never going to happen, it's never going to happen. I always said if there's money, it's going to happen, whether it works or not. It's going to happen. You understand? They'll find the need for it. They'll find a curtail for it, and then it'll just be whatever else that it is. But it's gonna happen.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, as far as from what I understand,
how it's gonna happen and how deep it's gonna be,
right?
Time will tell. But it's gonna happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Eventually,
too much money involved.
There's a lot of money. It's hard to fly in Providence with it doing that. Yeah, I understand. You can fly. But I wouldn't suggest using the RC radio, trying to fly between buildings and stuff like that because they're patch antennas. Omni antennas have always done better in situations like that. But Roger, sub 250 gram camera drones are the future of the hobby. I fly my Mini 2 and much bigger drones, far less hassle. Understandable and far less.
I'm going to get to that in a minute.
Because Roger Hunter says, I have a Mini 2 and an Air 2S. I like the smaller footprint on a Mini 2. I don't plan on an Air 3 or Mini 3. Of course, DJI wants you to sell a drone every day. Personally, I'm good. See, Roger Hunter, from your mouth to other people's ears.
You know what is funny about that? And
learn how to use what you have.
I don't really think that they want you to sell it because that was what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, you said that a new content creator is made every so often or whatever. Somebody might be looking to get into new equipment. I mean, companies do this. They create new equipment. What I don't like is you leaving equipment behind.
Right. Now, supposedly there's OcuSync 4 coming out.
Yeah, but how much OcuSync do we need? Why don't you just go to 5 or 12, right? Get it over with, and then we can stay there for a few years.
It's like Windows. It's like Windows.
No, it's not.
No, it's I'm not. Saying that's how they did it.
No, it's not.
How not?
How old is this drone?
Air 2S, maybe about a year and a half, 2 years, tops.
2 years, 3 years, what? Yeah. 3 years, right? Yeah. Maybe?
Yeah.
It's gone. This is where OcuSync 3 started.
Yeah, the Air 2S.
3 years? What is it going to be like Star Trek to go where no man has gone before? How much syncing do we need? How much OcuSyncing do we need? Like 50?
I get your point. I totally get your point.
The fly line of sight.
Yeah, I know.
In the fucking park.
Right. And even more so, for those of you who do not have remote ID as of September 16th or 6th.
Can I finish talking about this, please, and stop jumping the show?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We got specs on this thing, right? Because we got a release date announcement, right? That they came, that we all got an email, right? We saw that double up.
Yeah.
That was what they named it. That launch is supposed to take place next week, Tuesday, 9 p.m.
25th.
9 a.m. My bad. 9 a.m. Eastern time. Right? We saw this, right? Everybody saw that.
Yep. It just repeats over and over. But yes, this was
it just loops.
This was the trailer, and when you comes down,
I like that.
9.
It was back to like what they did when they released the excuse me, the Mavic 3 with the 2 windows.
Yes. It was close to that, like you were looking out a window.
Yeah. This time they're more obvious with it.
Hey, Marcel. Hope all is well.
No,
Gary,
but
good
what
man.
we got is a lot of specs on this thing, right? What people are expecting, right? What we expecting with this, right? We got what do we know? We got a dual 1.3 sensor, inch sensor
Mm-hmm.
at 4K 100 frames per second slow motion,
Yeah.
4K 60. We got HDR. We got 2.7K. All right.
Yeah.
The top camera is what 70 millimeter equivalent with an f 2.8 aperture.
No, no correction. The bottom camera is the 70 millimeter, at least from what I'm seeing in the photo here. That could be a typo. I don't know how they're doing it.
Really?
Yeah, it says right here on the bottom, single lens, focal length, 70 millimeter on the bottom. But go
Okay.
ahead. That's the zoom. And then you
So
have
we
the
also
24
got another
millimeter.
camera, right? With
Yeah,
a 24 millimeter equivalent with an f 1.7.
1.7. That I like that. They finally got past that
Mhm.
1.8 or you know what I'm saying? They're slowly.
Well, you are looking at a smaller sensor, so I mean, I guess it helps, right?
You know what? Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's yeah.
But the thing that most people are probably interested in is the increase in battery size for 4,241 milliamp hour battery, which should give you approximately somewhere about roughly about 40, 44, 45, and about 45 and a half minutes somewhere. Could be.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what's up.
I
That's
don't know. It's subjective, depending on what you're doing.
true. And weather conditions, of course.
Yeah.
I
But
expect
from
both
what I'm
cameras to record at the
understanding,
same I expect both cameras to record at the same time. Yeah, that's what I expect, Brooklyn Jimmy.
but what I'm also looking at here, and I'm seeing that both cameras will support this 10-bit D-Log M, right? And the 10-bit HLG color
Right?
modes. Yeah. So the one thing that I'm interested in, because I saw how well that the APAS that we're using right now is working. And just like, when we talk about numbers and how much more do we need, this is something that they can work on improving. You understand? More so than OcuSync 50,
Right. I agree.
which is now we got this new improved as an APAS for the 5.0 now. Now, I think that's what they're up to now. It'll be up to 6 before the drone is out of life.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. But like someone said, like SJM said earlier, there are some people who cannot afford to buy a drone every 6 months, but stop thinking about buying a drone every 6 months. Think
Mhm.
about learning to use what you have.
I don't think that they want you to buy one every 6 months. I think that they're just putting out their products.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now you
Now you
mentioned
buy what
something,
you want.
but you mentioned something earlier. Is this a rush to get out all their drones because they know eventually they're going to be banned in the United States?
Well, that labels thing, that doesn't
That
make
labels thing is going to
sense
shit
for
on
anybody.
every drone company coming into the United States
Forget
or
about drones. Forget about
New
drones.
York.
If you're not, other than a phone, if you're a Chinese-made product, beware.
Cell phones,
No,
drones,
they're not going to do that.
refrigerators, headphones.
They have too much money invested in that. They're not going to do that.
Hmm.
That's a good bad thing.
What's up, Gary? I
Yeah.
hope all is well with you.
No, but the one thing, and you remember I was telling you about they did surveys on people on purchasing cars, and cup holders
Hmm.
being one of the top reasons for people purchasing cars, and they look in the cars, see how much cup holders they have.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. DJI will not take away their cup holders, the intelligent flight features. You say you don't use them, but you won't buy a drone without them.
True. True.
You say you don't use them, but you won't buy a drone without them. I ain't buying a drone because it ain't complete. Ain't got all the intelligent flight features. They got all the flight features. You still ain't buying. No, but intelligent flight features. You know, focus tracking. You know, a lot of people love that one. You know, I'm not too crazy about the quick shots and the master shots. But the one you like the most is that the night mode. That's
Yes,
what
yes. I do predict
that's
this.
supposed to be.
I said it would probably be more than likely
They
that
say
they would add night mode to it. I can honestly say I believe any drone that comes out from this point on will have night mode.
and the one feature that they do have out here is on this that I
Which
use is the hyperlapse.
Yes,
The hyperlapse, and then slow motion and what was it, the smart photo, but
and the higher bit rate. My drone has a cup holder. Never knew that. Johnny Drone Flyer.
What happened?
Says my drone has a cup holder. I never knew that.
You didn't know that? They call them intelligent flight features.
Yes, that's what your cup holder is. Yes, those point of interest modes.
The things that guys won't buy a damn drone if it's not in there, but they don't use them.
True.
You got your keys and your cigarettes and all kind of other shit in your cup holder in your car. No cup.
I love following.
But you ain't buying that car if it ain't got no cup holders.
True. That is true. Except on DJI drones, the cup holders are master shots and the HDR and all of those
features. Cup holders.
Yeah. Yep.
Stuff you're not buying a drone without.
Waypoints also.
Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you. Waypoints is supposed to be coming to this from what I'm hearing, but we will know next week, right? No,
well, that's good because I've actually been disappointed with the waypoint features that they offer us, and then now they come up with a new drone with waypoints that work.
Well, see, I wonder if the waypoints can be fixed with an
firmware update. I'm sure of it.
Really?
I'm sure of it.
So why haven't they done it? Because I like what they did with Inspire 3. Yeah, I know why.
Yeah,
I know why.
Okay.
For the same reason why you cannot buy a drone that does the same thing that this does. You have to buy more than one drone to get the same features.
True. Yep.
There's no such thing as that.
That is exactly it. And this was a major selling point. This will be a major selling point for this drone because honestly, once you use a 1-inch sensor or a 4/3 sensor to go down to a cell phone sensor, even with night mode is not impressive for me. Now, for someone who's never had a drone or someone who's looking to upgrade their drone, that's a heck of a bird.
Well, see, I've always looked at the drone cameras a little differently, in spite of this, and something that I always say, and it will always hold true. The bigger the eye, the better the see. That will always hold true. There's no substitution for displacement. You understand? I mean, the bigger guy just works better. We understand that concept when it comes to being able to see. It's bigger, they can see more. It opens up, it's more. We understand that. But coming from using film to using what is today, everything is digital, it's all electronics. There's a lot of things that they've been able to do electronically. You're disappearing again on me.
I'm here. I blacked out. I'm here.
This is difficult when you're speaking to someone. I'm not. Anyway. Yeah,
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
whatever it is you're doing, just do it on camera. Unless you, doing
Well,
something that's illegal,
well,
then
no,
keep
no,
blacking out.
never mind.
No, no, but no, seriously. I just, I don't know. Let's just, let's get back to the
To the
subject.
lineup.
No, next week Tuesday we'll know what's going on, and like I said, the waypoint thing. I like what they were doing, what they did with the Inspire 3. I don't know if that quality of waypoint situation can be handed down in a firmware update. I don't know if that would be, if it's been enhanced and putting into this drone now. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But I do know some of the difficulties I've had with using waypoints with the Mavic 3. Who knows?
Well, we can see where it goes.
We'll see.
Like
We shall
Lance.
see.
What's up, Bill? What's up, Lance? How are you guys?
We shall see. No, but is anybody out there gonna get one of these things? Because I know that for all of the damn leaks and the fact that we saw the box and then Igor and them have said that someone actually got their hands on one from the store.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that when they make the announcement on Tuesday, they're gonna be ready to go.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think they're gonna be ready to go.
They'll probably to do like they do with everything else, big pre-order to see how many people are buying them.
No, I don't even think there's gonna be a pre-order. I think that they'll be ready to go.
You think they're already here in the States and they'll be on the shelves?
I'm not saying that. I think that they'll be ready to go from DJI within that week.
Okay. Well, it has a lot of features, 12 and 48 megapixels.
How much did they put out about this thing?
I know.
You've seen the damn drone for over about a month now.
True. You're right.
You've seen
medium telephoto lens.
No.
Look, I would be interested to know how many people are getting it also, because I'm definitely not.
I told you the biggest ripoff that DJI did was coming out with the Phantom 4. That was the biggest ripoff they did. 6 months later, they came out with the Phantom 4 Pro. I went in the store to get the Phantom 4. Dude was like, "Nah, you don't want that." I was like, "Why not?" He was like, "You want the Phantom 4 Pro." So what's the difference between the Pro and that one? And he showed me. I was like, "I'll be right back."
And came and you brought a Phantom 4 Pro, your very first one.
Oh,
You've had a few too.
I bought the bells and the whistles with that.
Yeah, back then they were giving away a little Cheerson drone about this big, a little 2-inch drone that they I remember. They gave that away. They gave the bells and whistles with the set that you brought. I remember. I don't remember the very first one, but I do remember you showing me everything that came
with the Nanook case, everything.
Mm-hmm. It is all about the money. 100%.
Oh yeah.
That
whatever
too.
you're willing to pay.
Yes. But we shall see on the 25th what's happening with this with this Air 3.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I want to see it too, because like I said,
I'm waiting to see the videos from Ken Dono and Billy Kyle and these other guys out there that are probably already waiting for the launch day to launch their reviews. I want to see what they have to say about it.
Well, like I said, the one thing that and then you see, you can already see certain things where DJI is going, and then the conversations that come about. And everything has been about image quality. And when you start talking image quality, you're not talking about sensor size. You're not talking about displacement of sensor size. You're talking about image quality. So I think that now with, like I said before, I was saying before, like everything now being electronics, that they've been able to create some things out of sensors that they could not have gotten before.
You're right, but here's a concern, and this Fly Guy Merrill isn't the first one that mentioned this tonight. I kind of feel this way with the Mavic 3, then released the Pro afterwards. People are a little gun shy to jump on the Air 3, thinking, okay, will they come out with an Air 3?
The 3S is coming next year? Sure it is. You best believe it's coming. You best believe it's coming. You know why it's coming? Because the industry, the community will not allow it not to.
Right, because they're going to find all of the flaws and things that they didn't expect with this Air 3. They did it with the Mavic 3.
As soon as you guys get your hands on it, you're going to start calling for more stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Because I did see on a forum, Herman, that someone put on Facebook in one of the conversations, how come the Air 2S couldn't be the Air 3? Meaning, how come the Air 2S couldn't have night mode? How come it couldn't have OcuSync 4 or whatever? But
because it had OcuSync 3.
Exactly. Now
it was the drone that brought. I told you.
Dan,
the Air 2S release was very similar to the Phantom 4 Pro release. You came out with the drone, right? I don't know how long after you came out with the from it was how long after the Air 2 did the 2S come out? Because it was 6 months with the Phantom 4 Pro to the Phantom 4.
Mm-hmm.
And on that date, they released the drone for the first time with sensors all around it.
Right.
Air 2S for the first time with sensors on it. The Air series with sensors on it, right, for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And they upgraded the sensor size on the camera to a 1-inch sensor, just like with the Phantom 4 for the Phantom 4 Pro, going to the 1-inch sensor. So that's why the launches were very similar. And they also came from what was that? Damn, so long ago I can't even remember. Because we up to OcuSync 50. Wow. Lightbridge. We went from Lightbridge
to Lightbridge 2. Yeah.
Yeah, we went from Lightbridge to
I had
Lightbridge
to think about it for a second. I had to look off to the side.
Yeah, because we up to OcuSync 50.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went from, what was it, OcuSync 2 or 2 point whatever, or 2.5 to OcuSync 3.
Right.
And that's when the smart controller became obsolete on anything going forward.
Someone said, don't forget the Air 3 Classic with one camera. See, you're learning. You guys are learning. And once DJI, you guys are learning out there.
As soon as you say that, and somebody else starts saying it, DJI will start going. How many times they say that? Every 10 is a sale.
Yep. Will the Mavic 3 get an update for vertical mode with release of the Air 3 perhaps?
No, please no. If they do that, something will go wrong in there, and everybody will start hating on it, and then they'll pave the way for the Mavic 4.
What's good, man? How are you?
Lawrence, you know we talk a lot about what's going on with drones and the future of the industry and the future of the community, the future of what's going on. How, like we're talking eVTOL here, we're talking eVTOL there, and this, that, the other, and these things flying through the sky.
Right.
I was checking out this thing here, and this company, Skypuzzler. Skypuzzler, advanced air mobility, right? You know what advanced air mobility is, right?
Oh, yes, we've been talking about it for years.
Yeah, and we continue to talk about it. Well, they have an air traffic control system that
That
it
works. That's
makes
working.
it makes way for safe autonomous drone flight. Yeah, believe it or not, they're claiming without collision. You know, it's supposedly called as they call it this. Well, what writers and people is calling it cutting edge because it's a solution for managing for the managing of air traffic control for drones.
Right.
This system is well, I happen to like what it actually does to an extent.
It
Um,
does everything.
yeah, well, they have a dedicated team of supposedly experienced people
Right.
from air traffic controls and people who are computer science, and they are dedicated to the cause of being able to navigate drones through the national airspace because let's face facts. Everything is about talking about integrating drones into the national airspace and being able to operate there
And it's
without
going to happen.
any collisions and stuff like that. And Skypuzzler has developed a digital air traffic control system that one, believe it or not, is us. This is the part I don't like about it.
What?
well, part of it I do. It's for safe flight. That part I'm okay with safe flight.
Right.
But the autonomous thing is what I have a problem with because it's got what they call clear path and let's talk a little bit about what they have here. They have this thing called free route airspace. I don't know if you understand what that concept, what they mean, but this is
I
where
do.
the drone, right? Because the drone being that it's operating autonomous in their airspace, or not. I shouldn't say their airspace, but operating in this well let's call it what it is, traffic control management system, you know, for drones. When operating in this, it chooses a path just like you choose in your car on the highway,
Yep.
you know, and they want to integrate this digital air traffic system into the existing infrastructure just to manage drones in airspace. You know, they say if this thing will, this thing will enable drones to fly efficiently and securely without the risk of any collision. Now, what this thing does is that, well, we know it's air traffic control. It's when we talk about the corridors and stuff like that, and we showed you like how what was that altitude angel, because that's they operate a lot over in Europe and in Africa. Altitude angel, they showed you how it works. It's very similar. Coming into contact with the corridors that are set aside for where these drones are going to operate, they'll actually pretty much take control of your drone and kind of move it out of the way and guide for to be able to get drones to be able to move through this thing. And I'm just curious to see how they have
I'm
drones
curious about
moving
that
through
too,
and
because
operating and just moving out of the way of other drones. And
well,
because
see, I'm curious about that also, Herman, because they claim that once you're in their corridor, they can manipulate drones and up and down and the video that we're going to play the video that I showed while you were talking with audio so people can
well, you
understand.
know what?
Yeah.
Let them hear what Sky Pixel has to offer.
Right, but this is already a functional network for flying
Oh,
and
Sky
managing
Puzzler.
drones.
Sorry, Sky Puzzler.
Yeah, for flying and managing drones. Take a minute and 30 seconds out of your life.
I thought it was like a minute
In
and
a
a half.
few years, there will be more than 6 million drones globally. Drones contribute to the green transition.
Fine.
A drone CO2 per kilometre is only 2% of a medium truck powered by diesel fuel. Unfortunately, air traffic control cannot deconflict the increasing number of drones. Today, most drones fly in restricted areas or corridors for safety reasons. This concept is not scalable for the drone industry. Skypuzzler develops an algorithm to deconflict flying drones safely. With this solution, the drone industry can fly in a free route airspace. The algorithm continuously monitors the airspace for potential conflicts between drones and other airspace users. When a conflict is identified, the algorithm will make the necessary routing or height adjustments to the drone control software. After the adjustments, the drone will return to its planned routing and destination. Skypuzzler's team consists of air traffic controllers and computer scientists with more than 80 years of aviation experience, 30 years of experience in software development, and more than 15 years of experience as subject matter experts in unmanned traffic management, advanced air mobility, and autonomous drones and robots. For further information, visit www.skypuzzler.com or email info@skypuzzler.com.
Okay. That's what I said.
Yeah, that is basically what you
She
said.
was
But
listening to me, huh?
who, huh?
She was listening to me.
For those
No, but,
who want a better understanding of it, here's the link right here. Basically, what they're saying is
this is what's happening to us.
huh?
This is what's going to happen to us.
Yeah, once they have their network up, say you're flying your drone at 200 feet near a Walmart or something.
Who?
Drones are supposed to be able to see with remote ID your commercial drone,
Yeah.
your amateur drone. Well, hopefully it's commercial if you're 107 flying, because
Hopefully
outside
you'll be able to fly a DJI drone.
right. But the point I'm making is hey, James Foster, hey, what's up? Jay Merce, what's good? Checking in from Mexico. Enjoy, man. Be safe out there.
What's up, man? Yo. Say
Watch
Merce.
how much tequila you drink in some of those bars, bro. You don't want to wake up in the alley.
Well, he's not by himself.
No, I know. I'm just saying, watch it over down there in Mexico.
The guy's on vacation by himself.
That's true. But getting back to what we were saying, this network will actually control commercial drones that will be logged in through it, signed in through it. I love how Herman just butts in. And he's nobody cares about what you're saying, Lawrence. Just jump in there. There we have that relationship. Yeah.
Nah, that's not what it is, man. Stop. Now go ahead.
But
he's using up his time listening to you.
They're doing it right now in Rome, New York, right? They have a 50-mile corridor with drones.
Yeah, but that's testing. But
they're testing and they're taking off at different altitudes. They're having unknown and foreign drones enter the corridor, and these drones are making adjustments to fly in or around them. They're already doing it. So
see, this is what we were talking about before. We mentioned Rome, New York. And they were testing stuff like this in that corridor, like rerouting and moving around things. And we did another story on, I can't remember exactly the date, but I will find it and I'll get back to you guys. But when we did the story about drones being able to maneuver and navigate around each other and not having a sustained route that is predicted to stay on that route, because drones will still collide with one another the more drones you put into the system. So they had to figure out a way for them to be able to maneuver around each other.
Well, see, no. Gary asked the question, and this is important. I want to answer this. He says, so if I'm flying in orbit or a point of interest, this is going to decide if a delivery drone can interrupt what I'm doing? No. Exactly the opposite. The delivery drone will see you and take procedures to avoid you, as well as other delivery drones.
I guess it would determine by where you're operating, Gary. If you're flying over here and the delivery drone is traveling by over here, no. But if your orbit's going to take you through his path, maybe.
Right. Now see, we don't know yet. Will it take your drone?
It might dip you down and around back to where you're going,
Or it may stop you in your path while the drone.
That's a possibility too. We don't know.
The drone, because you think about it.
We don't know. We don't know that because I've never seen that in any of the demonstrations for these UTMs. They've always shown rerouting, dipping, and going under and going above.
But you would suspect, okay, if you're doing an orbit of a church, for whether it be professional or as a hobbyist, and your flight path comes across Walmart's takeoff pattern, there may be some interruption. You may get stopped, you may not. Like Herman said, we have not seen a test of this software yet, but they've been.
I hope it's not going to be anything further than, like, you see, we fly here in the New York area, and when you fly, you're flying in an area where your return to home, right? They tell you that your return to home is in the path of a. It
tells you your return to home may cross the flight path of a plane, and
from where you are. We've seen that. I hope it's not much different than that.
Right. You know what? Like we said, we don't know because we have not seen a working model. I hope one day they say, hey, look, this is what we've been doing up in. Well, they have. We've done.
Well, we know that for a fact because that's what they were doing up there.
Yeah, that's true.
But see, if you listen to what they were saying in the video, that corridors are not sustainable.
Right, they can't grow.
Because if I'm flying here, how do I get over there if I'm in a corridor over here?
Right.
I got to be able to go there. I got to be able to move here. So drones got to be able to see one another. And I said this before. They said this during the symposium 100 years ago, that for you to be able to get beyond visual line of sight flight, the sensors had to get better. They had to be able to detect and avoid one another.
Right. And now our drones have APAS 5.0 and 4.0.
That'll be up to 60 soon.
Yeah, that's another thing. APAS, the obstacle avoidance.
That I don't mind. You keep improving that.
Yes, right. Obstacle avoidance. And we saw for ourselves.
Now, a lot of people complain about taking the sticks out of your hand. And if it's as subtle as the APAS, then it's not so bad.
Right.
Because that actually worked from the smart return to home when they were doing that with the Phantom 4 Pro. Because
you found that out yourself.
Because my drone went around a crane, boy. I didn't think it was gonna make it.
I didn't make this. It was a mini meetup. It was Herman, I think, Big Matt, and Cool Vic Ray, and they were flying. And Herman said, sometimes you know how you go around the object and you may go a little too far. Well, Herman may have done that. And his drone went into return to home. And from what I understand of the story.
No, that was a different time. You was at this one.
Okay.
You were at this one.
Okay.
We're over by the bridge. And I went behind the glass buildings over by the bridge.
Yeah.
Schaefer's Landing.
Yes. All right, then.
Those buildings over there by the bridge. I went behind.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, and it went up over the buildings and the crane was still up. And it was headed for the leg of the crane or the arm of the crane, and the drone
just because slowly slid around the arm.
I was like,
Yeah, there were a few times that Herman may have clenched his butt a little too tight because
tell you,
Dan, be safe out there, man.
With these drones.
Yeah, so I tell a guy, I try to show a guy, when we get back on the subject real quick, I try to show a guy well, explain to a guy that these drones, he's like, well, what about birds? I said, they will, if a bird crosses its path, it'll stop. If it sees a wall, it says,
Birds move.
you can see a wall. So I showed him the obstacle avoidance, on the display. And I brought the drone down. I said, now you see how it's going beep, 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 beep? That's the forward sensor. Now I'm going to push the stick full forward. And he's like, why would you do that? I said, watch. And I hit it, and the drone came towards us and went right up over our heads. And he said, you did that. I said, no, the drone did it. That's why this technology is so
let him hold the sticks and let him do it. Let him fly it right at his face and watch the drone go up over his head.
Be my luck, sensor error, smash, lawsuit. Big Matt, what's good? Oh, see, Big Matt's here. I know a time when Herman clinched.
Here we go.
I look forward to seeing that, Dan. But Big Matt must be talking about what I was mentioning, how that was the time I wasn't there.
Yo,
it took off.
Only had one good leg at that time, too.
Yeah. Herman took off. He once again, like it happens. Sometimes you do a semi-orbit, or now with today's technology,
you don't realize how low the drone is.
Right. I've done orbits around buildings and have not lost signal recently. But Herman had his Phantom, and slowly it got behind the building.
That's how they know it needed more antennas in the drone.
By your test?
I'm not the only one that's had that problem.
No, Big Matt said, I'd never seen him run so fast. And keep in mind, Big Matt, remember his foot was messed up. So it was more like a hobble, but he was doing it. He ran around the building to go get his drone. And what happened, Herman?
The drone went over the building.
Yeah, as he was running around the building.
It's all on YouTube.
It rose up over the building and over the roof of the building and came back and landed. Yeah.
It's all on YouTube.
And Fly Guy Merrill says he did that at Atlantic City Casino. He was definitely clinching.
Whoa.
Learn to trust your tech. And that when I teach people how to fly, just like you trust your car to take you from point A to point B, and you don't think about it breaking down.
You know
Can
what?
it break down? Yes. Can you blow a tire? Yes. Can you?
Sure it can. Can the drone fall out the sky? Sure it can.
Yes.
Will it? Probably not.
Right, but you have to trust your tech. Right, and restart the home.
That was funny because I was one of those people who you didn't have to tell me to fly line of sight. I flew line of sight when I first got the drone.
Yeah.
And honestly, listening to dudes on YouTube.
It's true, Big
like,
Mac.
You know what?
Home does work.
I'm gonna fly it over there. Wait a minute, what are you talking about? Signal loss. Oh damn. Oh shit, where did it go?
Back in the day, remember we used to call signal loss or video lost, and we would hear the drone beep, 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 and you're looking around. And you remember Twan, that had the guy that used to fix and sell drones here in New York? He had an Air 2S. This is funny. He had an Air 2S, right? The radio he was using, he lost signal. Screen went black. Return to home was not beeping on the remote. He thought he was heading back, low battery, keep in mind, low battery, like so many pilots out there do. He was heading back home.
Where was he going?
Never came home.
Where did he go?
He went to go look towards the land where he was bringing it in. And all the way down there, did not see his drone, gave it up for lost in the water. When he got back, the drone was sitting there next to the bench where he took off.
Hold on, you know what? I ain't gonna front. That happened to me with the Mini 3, the Mini 3 Pro.
I remember
because Calvin got so much damn trees, right? The drone lost signal. And I'm like, where the hell is the drone? I'm like, oh damn, where's the drone? It's landing. Landing where? So I'm like, okay.
Wasn't there, I remember.
So I'm like, where the hell is this drone landing? I'm like, it landed somewhere where there's a whole bunch of grass.
Right, and you're in the park with grass. And you're in the park with grass.
Let me see if I can take off and come back. So I tried to take off, and it's stuck in the tall grass. So I'm like, oh damn. So now I'm walking back to where I have all my stuff at. And I'm looking at the controller. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's my sneakers walking. Wait a minute. Drone's over there.
Yeah, that does happen.
In the grass.
Return to home. If nothing else works in a DJI drone,
The return to home
return
works.
to home does work. I've been flying drones, I can say this summer going into the fall, at 7.5 years. And one time I've only seen in that 7.5 years a DJI drone, someone hit the return to home and it started going in the other direction. And fortunately, that pilot trusts his technology because we were on a beach, Herman, out in Rockaway, and Justin was with us. And he hit return to home, and his drone, he said, well, where's my drone going? I said, what are you talking about? Yeah, I know. But he said, where's my drone going? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, the numbers are getting higher. I said, well, then it's not coming home, is it? I canceled it, and he was able to turn the drone around, and the numbers started getting lower. But in 7.5 years, that was the first time I seen anyone hit. And he had, back then, we had magnetic interference or something. So Jim's droning was good, man. But back to the stream and what we were talking about.
You knew.
Trust your technology.
Trust your tech, man, because like I said, I started listening to guys on YouTube. What was it? Who was it that said that? Trust your tech. The gentleman on Lord, I can't remember the. See, I'm so busy that I don't even watch some of these drone programs anymore. And you know, there's a lot of guys that started doing drone videos when I got into it.
Yeah.
They aren't doing videos anymore at all.
Yeah, a lot of people.
You know, and some of the guys are still out there. Some guys are not even doing drone videos anymore. So, you know, listen, I learned a lot from some of them. And I guess I pass it on to other people.
Well, we try to. I found out. I thought I had you know, I always say each one teach one. And I didn't know if I had heard this many years ago when I was younger or whatever, but I started saying each one teach one.
It's
an old it was an African proverb. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we try to do. That's really what we try to do. Only when they crash, Jim's droning. He says drones suck. Only when they crash. Or we crash them.
A little bit. Most of the time it's human error.
True. Very, very true. Yes. But
you know what I wanted to talk about, Lawrence?
Well, before you do that, we gotta pay homage to.
Yeah. You've been forgetting. I mean, it's like, you know.
I know I missed the first one, but I caught one here.
First two segments, but you know. Wednesday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by Those Guys.
There you go. Done. Mission accomplished. And so
the first one, but you know, that's all right.
Jim's droning says buy a kite. Jim's droning. Kites,
you know, kites are even regulated by the FAA.
Yes. Here
very soon they're gonna have to have remote ID on them too.
Could you imagine? His kid's flying with his kite in his hand. What's the matter? I need remote ID to fly.
Can you imagine that? You go out there, you run back to the car, your kid's all wrenched up by the cop, and so he doesn't have a remote ID module on his kite.
Yeah, right? Is this your kid?
It's flying illegally. Can't fly.
Yeah, Gary's been slacking. He says he hasn't posted a video since Florida.
Okay.
Is it that, Gary, or did your wife put you on punishment after that trip?
No, but Lawrence, you know, we were talking about something a little earlier, and I was checking out some stuff in Drone Life, and the chief editor of Drone Life had something there, and I saw it on another aviation magazine.
Right.
There was comments on it, but the FAA had released a document that outlined the complaints that people had towards the rules of remote ID.
Really?
Do you think?
Yeah. Go figure, right?
You think?
Yeah, go figure.
Or what is better known as Part 89.
Yes, get used to it. That's what it's called, Part 89, Remote ID.
Yeah, as you know, it requires all drones to be equipped with remote ID, recognition, and tracking technology. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. Okay.
I was just saying that's what it is. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as I reiterate and I keep saying to you, and I keep saying over and over, as they say, to further integrate. Because we were here already. I don't know what we're integrating into.
Yeah, I know.
We were here. You're the ones that's integrating. We were here already.
It's a formality. That's all.
I got it. To integrate UAV into the national airspace, and I get it. I understand that. If you want to, and I totally understand, because when I studied, or when I started checking out the stuff for the Part 107,
yeah,
that's when I really started to respect this shit. You know what I'm saying, too?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I really want one of them pilot's jackets. I really started to respect this stuff. No, seriously, because you really get into the nitty gritty of it. It's some really serious stuff, man. So, where was I? Yeah. So they want to integrate drones into national airspace. So as we know, this is coming September 16th of this year, 2023. We know that that's coming, right? So here's where it gets really deep and it gets really serious for a lot of guys. And you might want to start thinking twice when guys start, I got my sub 250, I got my sub 250. There we go.
Right.
Pilots that are required to register their UAVs, or UAS, I should say.
Go ahead.
Under the new rules require drones to have either a native remote ID or to be fitted with a remote ID broadcast module.
Yes.
Now we know that. Now, if your drone does not have remote ID,
listen closely,
and is not registered, and does not have a modular on this drone, then you must operate, and you may only fly in what is called a designated FAA recognized identification area, such as what they call a FRIA. Now, here in New York, I don't know about other places, we have AMA fields. These are fields that have organizations there, that have clubs there, and they operate. And there's a couple that don't have clubs. Forest Park doesn't have a club, and neither does Uh,
If Forest Park had a club, it would probably be more of a cult than a club.
and I don't even know if Forest Park is going to continue to make that list because no one uses it.
Exactly. It's a dog park now.
It is a dog park, and I think a dog can get more usage out of it than you with your drone.
If you can't trust your dog,
listen, watch this. Your 90-year-old grandmother, your 90-year-old great-grandmother with her Coke bottle glasses, take them off. Can't fly out of line of sight in that park.
Yeah. Because all you can do in that particular park,
that park's horrible. That park's horrible.
And look around.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah. What would you say is the radius of that circle? Maybe 100. Maybe about
let me see. I gotta measure this. I gotta measure my living room because
75-foot radius is not that small. Stop.
Twice the size of this.
Okay.
No,
it's the smallest AMA field
in the world.
Yeah, we could say in the world.
In the world.
I'm concerned about remote ID interest. See how it works. Listen, I already have 2 apps in my phone. I'm ready. I'm getting ready for remote ID. Drones.
Listen, I wouldn't get too caught up in that. I wouldn't get too caught up in that.
There's one called. Go ahead.
I wouldn't get too caught up in that because once again, and you know, I hate the American thing. Gotta be the American guy that says this. But if you're not doing anything wrong, then remote ID won't hurt you.
Exactly. But and for
I hate to be the guy that says that shit.
For those of you who want to know, and now these are drone pilots. Now, most of you, and I gotta pull this up so I can see the screen here. But most of you that are concerned about remote ID are concerned about other people finding your information and stuff like that. Listen to what I'm about to tell you closely. The only people that are going to know where you and your drone are
other drone pilots.
Because I have an app here called Air Sentinel and Drone Scanner. Air Sentinel, you need to be on a Wi-Fi network for it to work. But drone scanner actually shows you all of the drones in the area that have remote ID. And on the 16th, both of these apps will be active. And I look forward to using them.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to get stuff out to the community?
Saying don't tell nobody.
Well, yeah, but no, we know that, but no, by doing a commercial, putting out an ad, putting it on social media, that's the easiest way to get it out to the people, right?
Yes, I agree.
Now, you guys that are in the chat or lurking, I don't know, whatever, you know, how many of you guys seen a commercial for remote ID?
Rob?
Any of you guys seen commercials for remote ID? If you have, let me know if by putting a 1 in the chat.
If you've seen a commercial,
if you've seen any ads for remote ID for tracking drones in your neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you have.
Right. Hold on. Herman has phased out, and we will continue with the live stream till he comes back. People buy 4K camera drones for filming mountain scenery, waterfalls, train boats, and will FRIAs have all of that if no one... FRIAs have all that if no need for cameras. Exactly. A FRIA is an area like Calvert Vaux Park is a big enough airfield where you can land and take off, and it's along the water, and it's a very big park. But there are other airfields that may have a 75-foot radius circle, a 150-foot radius circle, a 100-foot radius circle, and they expect you to fly only in there and not outside the fence. So it is free. It is free for those of you. You're right, Draymond. For those of you who want to not register your drone and you don't want to have to use remote ID, use your minis, fly those sub 250 drones, but God forbid you get caught outside of those little tiny parks. Remember years ago, you guys were saying, oh, they can't tell me where to fly. Well, now they can, because you're not a Part 107 pilot and you don't have remote ID. Correct me if I say something wrong, Draymond. Good morning, Rob. Feet on the ground. Good morning, Rob and Sue, all the way over in Australia. I salute you guys. Thanks for coming in. I'm back in command center. Okay, Jody's back in the command center. That's good. That's what's up. We appreciate you and everybody who's coming in. It looks like Herman's coming back in. And booyah, there he is.
See that? You see that? The FAA is trying to shut me down.
Don't talk too loud. They'll hit that button again.
They're trying to shut me down.
Yep, right in the middle. So now we're going to try and say what you're going to say
I'm
again.
still
So
keep talking
Herman,
about it.
again.
Until you get involved, I'm going to keep talking about you, punk.
No,
I make a lot of jokes, but no, I know. Where we at right now?
We're talking about freers and we're talking about how
that's what
taking a drone, this particular drone, off of the list of drones, and I have a list from the FAA.
What happened now? What happened? The Platinum Pro, or the Pro Platinum, Mavic Pro Platinum. Yeah, what happened? Somebody in the
that was a typographical error.
Somebody made a mistake, an employee error.
Yes, it was an employee error that added Mavic Pro Platinum. Maybe that employee had one. Who knows?
Yeah, I know.
I doubt it. But this drone right here, the Platinum. Now, keep in mind, I still have my Pro. So, but
you know what? That Pro Platinum was a great idea, though.
What do you mean?
How many of them did they sell? Do I put new stickers on that shit?
Oh, yeah, on the same drone. You're right. That was the biggest gimmick there. They put these new stickers on saying Platinum Pro right there, and
you know what? That was the same thing that this guy told me about the Cadillac Escalade, the first edition of the Escalade. He said all they did was put Escalade on the Denali. It's the same truck.
But getting back to that list of drones that will be able to fly,
what you got?
I'm gonna show you guys how serious the FAA is about this shit, because this is from the FAA. So you could say Lawrence said or whatever. I'm getting
Lawrence said it.
From the FAA. Stop it. I'm getting it straight from the FAA site right here. There are 17 pages of drones that comply. Find your aircraft declaration of compliance. If your airplane, if your drone is not in this list here, okay, of 17 pages. Now they start, Herman. These are, it's 17 pages here. DJI is on the 17th and 16th page. All of these drones are compliant. A lot of them are industry drones. I can click to any page.
Some of them are too expensive.
Yeah. Some of these are thousands of XB series. They even Skydio, Hollystone. They're a particular type must be compliant. So they're going to
can't get across the spot.
Hold on, they're going to be selling drones in Walmart, Hollystone, Toys R Us. If they're still with remote ID. So now that $200 drone that didn't fly for shit is going to have remote ID. Getting back to this, here's the page.
So the government can see it 5 feet off the ground crashing.
The government can see it as it flies away in the wind, because that's at the bottom of the list. Hold on, this is page 17. On the bottom of the list, remote Mini 3 Pro Air 2S Avata. And if I go down to page 16, the rest of DJI's drone, the Mavic 3, the Mavic 3 Sin, the M30, the M30T. They have the industry drones, the M3E, the M3T. So I'm going to put this in here. If your drone is not on this list, it does not comply. And this does not include FPV pilots. What did Raymond say? Ask yourself this: if Facebook, TikTok, and the rest of social media cost up front, hardly anyone would have ever signed up. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Draymond. You're 100. Did a drone take off and land? I know. Oh, didn't a drone takeoff and land, only fly a filming photography. So how does that work for people like you?
What?
What you're saying, if you're only doing filming and photography as a hobbyist, if you are in the United States, your drone needs remote ID. If it's over 250 grams, now, if it's over 200, not micro drones, anything under 250 grams is not registered. You don't need to register, and you do not need remote ID. But if you're caught flying outside, and I repeat, outside of these AMA fields or FRIAs, you may have a problem. How they're going to enforce it, I have no idea. If the Inspire
Well, see, here's the there's certain rules you're going to be operating under these rules, or you're going to be operating under these rules. And if you're going to be doing anything outside of the hobbyist realm of just flying around and enjoying the freedom of being able to fly in that loop-de-loop or within the confines of whatever you can do from the designated areas that they want, I suggest to you, truthfully speaking, I said this 100 years ago. I say 100, but it's not 100. It's been a few years. Mm-hmm. I say this and Lawrence knows where I'm going with this.
Oh, those are micro.
Get your Part 107, register your drone, and now you can make a reason for why I'm actually operating in this area.
Hold on.
If you just want to operate as a hobbyist and just say, I'm going to operate here because I have the right to, they're cracking down a lot now in the country. They don't want a lot of these drones flying in areas. And I see that now, and there's a lot of reason for you need to find a reason to be operating in a lot of different areas.
Hold on a second, Herman. I was just corrected by Marcel.
One of us has made a gross error.
And that was me, because he says the last two on that list says micro drones. So that is FPV. So I stand corrected. Thank you, Marcel, for pointing that out. There are FPV drones in that list as well. And thank you very much for pointing that out. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But in answer to Jody, is the Inspire one? I put the link here.
No, forget about that. Is it what? I'm sorry.
The Inspire one is the Inspire one on the list. But if you want to know what drones, this is a complete list. What happened?
The Inspire one. That's what bridge. They didn't even have a light on the bridge when they came out.
That was just bridge.
Yeah, it was just bridge.
Stop. I remember flying the Inspire one the first time. Everyone was like, ooh, ah. Did you see that?
Because the legs go up.
Yeah.
If I could do that before I walk down the block, everybody be looking at me.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You have a valid point with that thing, right? If I could fold my legs up and walk down the street, people would go ooh and ah too.
That will always get people, no matter
what. He loves his Inspired one. He says the best drone ever.
Let's go up. That got everybody. No, I don't care. I don't care if that happened 50 years from now. You'll be like, oh, yo, I'm telling you, the first time I saw that happen in person, I was like, yo, that's some shit. No, seriously, when those legs go up like that, you're like, some serious stuff happening here.
But in answer to Jim's droning, even if it does not have a camera on it, Jim's droning, if it weighs over 250 grams, it has to have remote ID.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't have only if you have a camera for seeing, even
anywhere in operating commercially or operating in
hey Angie,
in controlled airspace, you're not operating that thing without being able to be recognized. That's not happening. And the guys that think that they can because it's sub 250, don't be disillusioned. You can be tased too.
He said you can be tased too.
Yeah, Yeah,
Right.
but you know what, Lawrence, I wanted to talk about?
Yeah.
I saw this thing. We got geniuses in New York.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about me, but no. There's drone accelerator. She and maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong, or maybe I should be breaking it up in each individual letter. But Genius NY partnered with international regulatory consultant organization Murzilli
Right.
Consultant. Now, I wondered what the hell is going on with all of these funny names and everything with Murzilli and the consultant and Genius NY. But they've announced that their partnership, and I thought that what they're doing, what they're providing was very good, especially when you got guys talking about what's going on. Hey, Angie, what's going on? When they're talking about what's going on in New York and what happened with that hearing.
Yeah.
Well, they are they're providing startups with the ability to, well, if you're a member of their program and with Genius New York and have the profile with Murzilli Consultant,
Right.
that they will give startups an in-house resource, right? And
Right.
and assistance with the complex regulatory framework that companies are having problems getting off the ground and stuff like that. And I guess that, this is similar to like what if I'm understanding it correctly, similar to like what Bloomberg had proposed with the movie industry that I guess never worked.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas that you tell New York City what you want to film, where you want to film, on what dates, and what you're trying to do. And we'll go to all of the different organizations and put together that permit package for you and give you a price on that. So basically, they're helping companies or startup companies with the regulatories. Let me tell you, New York, places like New York have more regulatories than they need. Like if you're gonna pick your nose on the same day that you're gonna fly, then you got to file a different paperwork.
That's true.
If you scratch your butt on the same day that you're gonna fly wearing blue sneakers, then you got to file a different set of paperwork. And New York is famous for shit like that. And companies like this will help you with different regulatory.
Or you can only stand on the left side of the street.
Yeah.
Stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
New York will say on Tuesdays you can't fly on the northern side of any New York City.
On Tuesday, only on Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but truthfully speaking, no, seriously, getting back to being on, they're helping startups with the regulatories and the complex issues of it. A lot of this stuff, like I told you, a lot of times when you get even a basic application, you're supposed to be able to take that application to your lawyer and have him read it because it was written by a lawyer.
Right.
But you don't really get that chance to do it. You got to fill out these applications right away.
Right. You don't think about that.
Yeah, people. No one thinks about that. And they're basically in that they want to organize to basically help startups, companies, small. I would guess small companies with the regulatory, because big companies would have people that they would hire people to do this. If they had that deep depth of pocket. And I thought this was a good idea for a good story because I think that even like when I was trying to start up those guys' Ariel, there were things that I didn't know, and I had to go to others to find this information. So, getting around regulatories and what needed to be done to be able to operate and license in your state legally and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It's a good idea. What do you think?
I agree. I was just answering Jim's droning. It's great that there is a company that's willing to invest in other companies. I put the link to Genius New York so
Mhm.
people understand what it takes for sometimes there are small companies out there that are great companies that have great staffing and people, but they cannot get the funding. And
Mhm.
this is where Genius New York partners is partnering with Murzilli and Murzilli and and company. They see a profit. They
Mhm.
see that this will work. Whatever they're doing is going to work. So why not invest in someone that's going to work? You have
No one knows
philanthropists out
everything.
there that do that all day. They watch the news, they read papers and look for companies that may be worth investing money in.
Mhm.
If I spend $10,000, if I can give you $10,000 and you can give me back 20 or $30,000 for that $10,000 investment, I'm going to do it. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know what? Moving
yeah.
right along. Moving right along. The one that this is a story that I'm gonna honestly say I love this story and I had to put this one in here. And it's something that we talk about all the time. And without
Mhm.
stuff like this, we as a nation in aviation are going
Would be
nowhere.
dead.
And we look at it from the small point or the small standpoint of drones because this is actually in the drone industry.
Yes.
And I applaud this 100%, and I'd like to see more growth in this. We talked about this back when Elaine Chao, who was the transportation secretary at the time,
Yeah.
she had given some grants out to colleges that were developing programs such as this that we're about to talk about. But AIM Community College to offer uh, Colorado's first UAS associate's degree for drone pilots.
Mm-hmm.
That should
College
get applause.
course.
Give that some applause.
Yeah. Yes.
Give
Yes.
that, give that some applause.
I agree. I
AIM
agree.
Community College will begin offering an unmanned aerial systems associates of applied science degree, first of its kind
Yes.
in the college and in the state. Uh, it it is, like I said, the first of its kind. It's one of 15 two-year colleges in the United States to offer such a degree.
And at one time there were none.
Yeah, exactly. At one time there were none. It's one of 15 colleges in the United States to offer a degree.
Yeah.
Now,
A 2-year degree in associates.
right now, this college has been offering, because they've been studying aviation here for quite some time now, but they've been offering the path to Part 107
Mm-hmm.
since 21. So
Okay.
right. So
And now there's an actual course that you can take that will not only teach you how to fly a drone industry and things industry wise and as maybe a creator, a hobbyist, but there's so many directions you can go in with this. You're coming out of school certified.
well, this is what I like about this is this not only will provide the students with like basic flying skills and stuff like that to be able to achieve, like I said, the Part 107. This also is will give them guidance in mapping and in our regional television work. So it's gearing them to being able to do work in the industry once they graduated with their 2-year degree. such as other programs around the country. What I like about it is the fact that we mentioned not only is it giving them their Part 107, but the work that they're able to do with it, that you have to spend money now for programs out here on your own.
Yes.
To get it, and they're getting this in community college basis. And most of these students in community colleges are there on grants and they call financial aid from the state and the
Yes.
city.
Yes, and
live it.
state,
So
there's
this-
money for this. There's
Right.
money.
Right. There's money out there for this.
The government allots money towards STEM programs and college programs like this because it's an investment in our country. And like Herman said, it's only 15 colleges across the United States. How many thousands of colleges are there? Aeronautical colleges. I'm not even talking about, USC, sports colleges. I'm talking there are aeronautical colleges and high schools that could benefit from this money and programs. But Herman, it's that time.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, this will begin on their at the Gateway building on their expansion of their Windsor campus in January of 2024. So we look forward to hearing more about this program. And when I do, I will share it with you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I know Virginia Tech has a huge program. They got a big airfield over there too.
Specifically for aeronautics and remote ID and all of the above. You're being taught all of this in a college course. And before we go, the average salary for a SUAS pilot in the United States, the average is $80,000. So that's not a bad start.
Well, provided you don't live in New York where you need 150.
Yeah, for every time you fly, right? You're right about that.
Well, anyway, with that, we appreciate you all. We thank you all for coming and hanging out with us this week. And guess what we'll say? And I'll see you next time with those guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.